Hey guys, how you doing? It's Carl's from Immortals Podcast. I got Mikey on the keyboards here.
Come on, I'm always here. Why not?
I'm going to surprise him with this particular little podcast.
He
We're
said,
going to talk about something else, Wizards. I shouldn't say Wizards because I'm pretty sure it wasn't Wizards, but it was Wizards, but it's probably Hasbro.
and you said you're going to give me the gist.
Yeah, basically what happened was, so March of the Machine is out as the newest Wizard set. The next set is going to be March of the Machines Aftermath, which comes out in about 3 weeks from now.
So it's a sequel set.
Sequel set, right?
Wow.
It's a smaller set, sequel set and everything. But that's 3 weeks, which is like an eternity when it comes to distribution and ordering. Because, we don't see it until the day of or day before release, If you get something like, there's times where if you, like say you become a popular podcaster or you're a motivator or you work for them, they'll give you early copies so you can say, hey, like GW, sometimes if I order enough GW where they have a thing, they'll send me like a game copy 2 weeks beforehand. And they'll say, hey, you can put it out there, let people see it, play it, and, promote it that way. That's when you would have an early. But I understand there's contracts, like when you have Wizards and GW and Osmodee and all those big companies, they have release dates. And those are important because that keeps the playing field fair for everybody. Because that way, if we're like a 2-day ship from the warehouse, and another guy's a 1-day ship and he gets it before us, he can sell it and then it'll destroy my market, which would destroy the market in this area because it's just a whole big, I don't know, I never went to college. Remember we were talking about that. But it's a whole marketing
class
thing,
right now.
Right? So anyway, if you get something early, you kind of know it. Like, oh, this is early. So what happened was this YouTuber, and I believe his name is Old School MTG or something. We'll put it in the links.
Yep.
He reported that he got some Aftermath already. And this was like last week, I guess, which is like a whole month almost beforehand. So then he made a YouTube video about it. Well, then he put on an article, and I guess this was verified on Polyhedral or Polydon or something like that he was at home, and he said Pinkerton agents showed up at his house and it, upset his wife, and they took the stuff and everything like that. But the way they wrote it, it was like, I get it, right? He's like, oh, they took the stuff and everything, and I'm just watching other podcasts, other people reacting to it. I was like, all right, let me find the original article. So we'll put the original article and the original article in the
you're gonna have to send me that link. We'll put it in the description. So
basically, they showed up, and I don't know if you know anything about Pinkerton, which is what?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right, well, that's a real person.
Pinkertons come and get you, and you gotta.
Yeah, well, in real life, the guy Pinkerton was. If you actually look at his history, he's kind of an interesting guy. He was an immigrant from Scotland, I think. Came here with nothing. He was a barrel maker, and all of a sudden he kind of lucked himself into like some detective work, and next thing you know, he was like the security for Lincoln.
Okay.
He's like the forefront of what would be considered like the Secret Service. They always say the FBI. No, he was like Secret Service. He did a lot of espionage during the Civil War, and then he built all these private investigators and like private police forces in the countries, like and before the Civil War, like 40s, 50s, and he built all this, and he was a huge like anti-slave guy. Like he helps, get people across the border and anything. He's got a very interesting history. So anyway, he built this company based on like private security and everything like that. Sometimes around the turn of the century, like in the late 1900s, early 2000s, they had like labor problems. That's when the big labor union movements came forward, and so they did some things they probably shouldn't, but this is a different time, and it's not even they shouldn't have. It just was the time. They used a lot of force to quell these labor riots, which is now why you have a lot of laws about what you can and can't do at labor demonstrations and union stuff. So, and then from then they've pretty much become a securities and assets protection company because like they used to protect stagecoaches and trains and people back then in a brutal fashion. Now they do, they protect property and do all that stuff. So, believe it or not, I worked for Pinkerton. I one time between the Army and my current criminal justice.
Really? You worked for the Pinkertons?
Yeah, I was a Pinkerton guy. And
traitor.
It's not like it's not right. But it's never like that. I was a security guard basically. But the Pinkerton company, you think about it,
they're gonna show up here now.
No. But if you think about it, it's spanned three centuries now, from 18, 19 to 20. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting.
Yeah. So this old company, and they just grown. They've had a terrible history that people like to focus on one part of it. And but the guy himself was, if you look at his history, he's kind of a badass. So, but now the company stays at its security guards, it's asset protection, it's private detectives, you know, and
March of Machine Protection.
Yeah. So anyway, so they're also worldwide. Like Pinkerton is worldwide, and they do like business, you know, like corporate espionage and stuff, and like, you know, like
Who oversees them?
Who
oversees the Pinkertons?
Nobody, themselves.
Like they're just their own entity, basically.
Yeah, they're their own security entity.
Because they've been in the game so long. Okay, makes sense.
Sorry. Yeah, they've been in the game so long. But anyway, the point is that doesn't surprise me because, like I said, you know, I have my job is criminal justice. So in one form or another, but for a long time. So before that, that's all I've ever done. So when they had this article where they said, hey, they showed up at my door. Well, Wizards is owned by Hasbro. Hasbro is a worldwide company. They have huge assets. They have all these secrets and money and everything else. Yes, they would have a security company to protect their assets. So here, this Magic the Gathering, which doesn't come out for another month, is all of a sudden in this guy's hands in wherever.
Yeah.
He's making YouTube videos. Now, he even said, the guy in the article said, hey, you know, they had to take the stuff, and I gave it to him. And he says, but the company promised to compensate me with an equal amount of product that is available. Okay. Now he's like, I don't know, you know, my guy just had it. Maybe they shipped it wrong or whatever. Listen, if you ship something wrong, I've had that where they ship me something early and they, hey, don't put that out. We messed up, because there's inventory control. I'm not saying the YouTuber did it. I'm saying the YouTuber got a hold of it, but I'm saying somebody, I'm guessing if they showed up, these Pinkerton agents, which are just private detectives, you know, they made them like lawmen, but they're not lawmen. They're private detectives. They're asset protection.
Yeah.
I guarantee they wanted all the cards, the boxes and everything, because that's all labeled and skewed and scanned. So you can tell exactly where that came from.
Yeah.
So they're trying to find who stole it, basically. I'm guarantee somebody stole it, because first off, it's a month beforehand. There ain't no distributors getting it.
Yeah, it's usually like 2 weeks, right? Never usually a month.
Yeah, it's usually 2 weeks of distributors, or a week even. Like I've even seen a few days before release, and then they'll get it, and then they have to get it to us. So it's like, yeah, it's a whole thing. So that came from the company, right? Yeah. Somebody in the company.
Dude, did they find out yet?
Oh, I'm sure they will. But like, I don't think they thought he was the criminal, because if not, it would have just been the police showed up, you know, because like Pinkerton has no
just an innocent guy probably doing his thing.
Well, he probably saw an opportunity. It was a business opportunity. You know, if somebody came to me and said, hey, I did it once on accident. I got these boxes of stuff and I'm like, oh, cool, this game's out, because I wasn't paying attention to release date, and I put it out and I took a picture. Hey, this is in stock. And then I got a call like almost like an hour later from hey, where'd you get that? I'm like, oh, a distributor sent it to me. And they're like, that doesn't release for a week. You can't put it out because of the release dates, you know? And I'm like, oh, yeah, no biggie. So I took it off. But, you know, I'm a store.
Yeah.
If you're a YouTuber, it's probably going to be hard to find you. No. Like, they know where to find us, you know? But, you know, if you're just at somebody's house, you know, and then it's their IP. Is that the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, basically, right?
It's their product. So it's like, hey, wait a minute. If you release this, now all the hype building up to this day is gone, you know, and everybody's going to know. But we want to know where you got that, because apparently he had like, and in the article, it'll be in there. It said he had like a couple dozen boxes, which to me is a couple cases of collector's boosters.
A couple dozen boxes?
Or a dozen, or a couple of dozen.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So somebody picked that up and took it. Like, so what they probably want to do is find out where it came from. They probably want to find out where the hole is and plug it.
That's crazy.
Because and it's a business, you know, you're like, hey, where's all our stuff going? You know, because like, okay, let's say just off the top of your head, you're talking like a couple dozen collector's boosters. You're talking a couple thousand, right? Couple grand, right? Well, you know, if somebody took that, they didn't stop at a couple grand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then how did it get where he is? You know,
yes.
So logically, you're like, okay, you just got it, but if you knew it's a month beforehand, you know that's not normal. If you're a YouTuber in the business, and I'm not saying he did anything wrong, and I'm not at all besmirching him, but you know, oh, wow, I got it. I can do it. I go, maybe he didn't know. Maybe there's a possibility like, oh, because he might not know distributor or how the distribution works or how it is. And it's fine, you know. Hey, I made a mistake, but, you know, it's not even he made a mistake. He just had, I got it and I'm going to do it because like I said, I've done it with some product. I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I'll put it out and then didn't realize there was a release date. So, but I'd be more curious I'd like to follow up with the story because even Wizards is like, yeah, we sent our asset protection people which is Pinkerton, so, and it's like, okay, that makes sense. And they're just trying to find, within their company, like, where did this happen? Because as an example, did you see where the Pokemon thing happened? The last set of Pokemon?
No.
I guess some guy showed up at a store with all the hitters, what you guys would call the hitters or the ultra rares. He had like piles of them.
Yeah. That
you only get one per case, and he had like hundreds of them. And he's trying to sell them. They're like, get out of here. So then they call Pokemon, say, hey, this guy just came in and tried to. Well, here he worked supposedly in this story. I don't know that much about, but supposedly he worked at the factory, stole them all before they got in the boxes. See how that messes up the Pokemon boxes now. Now people don't want to buy it because they weren't getting any hitters. They're like, oh, I bought a couple cases and I didn't get but 2 of them, and it's like, well, that's weird, So, that affects the bottom line and, it makes it cost more for me, it costs more for you, costs more for people, it costs them to lose money because now what are they going to do? They'll have to, Pokemon's going to have to do something.
Mental turmoil, yeah.
So that's, I'm just basically, I'm saying a 2 cents worth. I don't think that Wizards is Wizards. Wizards is going through a lot of changes and stuff like that, and I'm not defending them. I'm just playing devil's advocate or my opinion. But as far as, like, I watched a lot of other videos where they're, like, really ragging out, oh, they sent these thugs and goons. I'm like, I'm pretty sure they weren't thugs and goons and kicked the door in and broke windows.
You're probably guys in nice, black tuxedo suits with the...
Yeah, they're probably
the old Pinkertons had the
baseball cap.
The nice, not even the baseball cap, the smooth hat. I forgot what it's called, but yeah, that's crazy. I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, so I'm guarantee it was probably somebody went there and said, hey, this is the problem. And it is. Like, that's their job to find out where this came from because that's loss. You know what I'm saying? It's loss, and especially on a worldwide scale because here, Magic isn't just like the local guy or whatever. I mean, you play locally, but that's a worldwide corporation.
Yeah, it's global.
Yeah, it's global that they have rules for these release times and dates and who they go to and everything like that, especially the bigger you get. So, and I'm not defending Wizards but I'm pretty sure they didn't send goons to kick in the guy's door, right?
Shake them up.
But they did. They have to protect themselves. It's a business, because you don't want Magic to go away. You enjoy it, and you don't want these games to go away because you enjoy them. So they have to protect their assets, and that's what it is. And I think that's basically what I'm saying. But there are a lot of facts there. Like, okay, you got it, he gave it, but where did it come from?
Yes,
there's
so
no way, because I guarantee he's like, oh, my guy I bought it from, he usually gets just this other stuff. Okay, what distributor did he get it from then, right? Because they're going to go back to him and say, where'd you get that from? This distributor, this guy. Then they're going to go back to this distributor and go, where did you get this from? Because not too long ago, one of the major distributors also was doing that, sending Magic out too early. And they got banned from Magic. They didn't sell the Magic. That's a huge...
Don't touch Magic again.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of money or a huge income or revenue.
Think about if we lost all of our Magic.
Yeah, like if Magic says you're not allowed to sell our product anymore. Okay, it'd be hard. I'm not gonna lie. It'd be hard. I'd be like, oof.
That's crazy.
That's.
And then you think if it wasn't obviously that YouTuber, which we're not placing blame, like we said, if it wasn't him, which exchange took place to say, okay, this guy's gonna have to deal with this, but how much am I getting in this for him to deal with these?
Because think about it, it's always a centralized warehouse. Like I think it's in Texas, is their warehouse.
Everything's bigger.
So where is this guy at? So like, say maybe, and I have no idea. I'm just arbitrary saying he's in like
Utah or something.
Yeah, Utah or Nebraska, or maybe he's in Maine or something like that. They're like, okay, every piece of this was in Texas. How did you get 3 boxes in Maine? They're gonna ask that. Like, how did this get here?
Yeah. Poor guy.
And they said, well, yeah, maybe they looked on the box and it just said Martian Machine Aftermath. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, poor guy, man. Poor guy.
And believe me, and it could be. I mean, I could see a YouTuber doesn't know how distribution and all that works. Oh, cool. I got this. I'm going to run with it. I mean, it benefited him. Made a story. He even said, he goes, man, my views have gone way up. I'm like, yeah. I mean, I'd like to see the end of the story. I'll pay attention and see what happens.
Yeah.
And actually, John brought it to my attention. He goes, "Oh, this guy, look at him."
And if any of you get any updates, say it in the comments.
But I guess I'm gonna guess that instead of like Wizards being goontars and sending thugs to go get it, I think mostly it was an asset protection deal, and somebody stole some stuff and somebody sold it to someone, and it ended up wherever it did.
That's crazy.
Right? It is.
That is wild.
Yeah, so I'd like to pay attention to this and see what that is. But yeah, logically, that makes more sense than just, because you got to know where it came from. You're making these guys protecting the assets that you enjoy, the bad guys, which, okay, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But in this case, I think they're just protecting themselves.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like anything, But I thought that was interesting. I thought you'd find that interesting.
It was interesting. Hope you found it interesting too.
And then, but you know what a Pinkerton was, right?
Yeah,
there's a game. They've been around a lot, right?
I thought it was just like Red Dead Redemption separate lore. I didn't
oh
know
no, you should read. Anybody
people.
go read about or watch a video like pre today or pre in the last 2 weeks, anything like a year, because it's Pinkerton.
Yeah,
anything from years ago. Like a year-old video, like the history of Pinkerton or something like that. Very interesting. The guy was kind of a bad dude.
That's crazy.
Like not in a bad way, but it was kind of a bad dude. Like he kind of kick ass. But all right, if you like this and you like any of the contests, like, subscribe, give us a share,
a like.
I know. And until next time.
Bell.
Yeah, the bell. Until next time.
See you guys.